Hey, how's it going everyone, and welcome back. Now, ExpressVPN and Nord are the two most notable and popular VPNs in the industry, and rightfully so. They're really fast, and they're the two most secure VPNs in the market. They allow for streaming and torrenting, and they have huge numbers of server locations as well as all the essential VPN bonus features. That being said, they do differ when it comes to features and budget, which is why I'll be breaking down both of these VPNs and talking about what I like about each of them. And so, if you're torn between the two, this video should help you figure out which one works best for you given your situation. Of course, if you'd like to know more about these VPNs, whether it be the fine details or pricing, you'll find links to in-depth reviews as well as pricing and discounts in the description down below. Now, to kick this comparison off, let's take a closer look at both of these VPNs' privacy policies, because that's the main reason why anyone would use a VPN, to have more privacy online. Okay, so both Express and Nord have been audited by trusted and independent firms to show the public whether or not they are following the promises in their policies. Express has been audited by KPMG, Cure53, and PricewaterhouseCoopers, while Nord has been audited by Deloitte, Versprite, and PricewaterhouseCoopers as well. And as expected of these two, the results of said audits came back in great standing, which means that they do uphold their policies and they never log, store, or share your data. That being said, one difference is that Express had its no logs policy tested in a real-life stress test back in 2017, where the Turkish government seized one of Express's servers as part of an ongoing investigation, only to find nothing on that server. Besides that, Express uses RAM-only servers, which basically means that no storage drives are connected to the physical servers in any way. Now, Nord also uses RAM-only servers, but I still think that Express is safer and more secure, because it's one thing to have your no-logs policy tested in an audit, and it's a whole nother level to have it tested in a real-life government surveillance situation. And so, as far as security goes, both these VPNs are really secure, and your data is in safe hands, but personally speaking, I would lean towards ExpressVPN if you're a privacy-conscious individual, because there is a real-life example that it does uphold its policies. Now, another point of focus when looking into which VPN to get is the speed and performance. Of course, it's normal for speed drops to happen when you use a VPN because of the time it takes to encrypt your data before it reaches the internet, and speed drops between 10 and 20% are generally considered excellent for VPNs, and even up to 40% can still be considered good. But you never want to go beyond 40% because at that point you would be cutting your speed in half, which is not something that you generally want to go through. Alright, so when testing both Express and Nord, I didn't see any speed drops outside of the 10 to 25% range, except this one time when I was trying to connect to a really far away server, and even then the speed drop was just 25%. That being said, out of the two, Nord is faster, especially when I'm using the NordLynx protocol, which is considered to be the fastest in the industry. With NordLynx, I noticed several times that my speed drops were as low as 8%, which is the fastest that I've seen a VPN perform out of all the VPNs that I have tested so far. And so as far as speed goes, Nord is arguably the fastest VPN in the industry, and ExpressVPN is close behind it. Alright, now let's talk about what most of you are probably here for, and that's for streaming. If you're like me and you like to experience what other countries have to offer from their local libraries, Express and Nord are both great options here. In fact, after testing quite a lot of VPNs and how well they can access different libraries, be it on Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, or any of the other streaming services, these two VPNs alongside Surfshark were the only consistent options. And that is not just a product of luck, because almost all streaming services these days have deployed firewalls that can prevent encrypted VPN traffic from accessing their websites, which makes most VPNs useless here. This, however, does not apply to Express and Nord, since all of their servers are obfuscated, meaning that their servers are capable of making your encrypted traffic look like it's completely normal and easily getting around those firewalls. Now, Nord has a slight advantage here, as it has servers in 111 countries, as opposed to ExpressVPN, which has 105 countries. So basically, you can access content from 6 more countries with NordVPN, but other than that, both options are fantastic when it comes to streaming. Moving on to features, both Nord and Express offer the same essential and base VPN features, like lightning-fast encryption protocols in the form of NordLynx and lightweight UDP, kill switch, as well as split tunneling. Kill switch, in case you don't know, will turn off your internet should your VPN ever disconnect, and this will make sure that you're always connected to your VPN while you're online, so your data will always be safe. And just a small note here, while both Express and Nord do have a kill switch feature, Nord does take it a step further by offering an app-specific specific kill switch that'll turn off access to that app rather than the whole internet. So let's say you're using VPN while torrenting and the VPN disconnects while using Nord. Instead of your whole internet cutting off, which might interrupt your work, only the torrenting app's access to the internet will be cut off. So it's a big boost when it comes to security. As far as split tunneling goes, both Express and Nord have the feature which allows you to select which applications can go through the VPN tunnel and which applications don't use the VPN. That being said, I wouldn't exactly call it an essential feature, but once you do give it a shot, you'll see how handy and efficient it can be. Say you want to protect your torrenting app with the VPN connection, but you don't want to change it for your Netflix library to that VPN server. You can simply select only the torrenting app to go through the VPN tunnel, and everything else can go through your normal connection. Another feature these two VPNs have in common is threat protection, which is called Threat Manager if you're using Express. And this feature blocks ads, trackers, and malware-ridden websites. And that being said, I find Nord's threat protection to be more fleshed out and sort of a mini antivirus, because it also monitors your downloaded files and prevents any corrupted and malware-ridden folders from finding their way to your PC. Aside from that, both these VPNs have just added new identity theft protection features, including financial fraud protection, dark web monitoring, and identity restoration coverage for up to $1 million. One thing to note here is that this feature is only available in the US at the moment and only for specific plans. So if you want to know more about this, you can check out the links in the description down below. Okay, so as far as features go, this is where the commonalities end, since ExpressVPN likes to keep their apps simple, so they exclude some of the options that not many intermediate or beginners are interested or knowledgeable in. So if you're interested in a bit more granular control over your VPN, NordVPN might be the better option here. To give you an example, Nord has a lot of different specialty servers for specific activities. Now, all of Nord's servers can be used for pretty much any activity, just like Express, but specialty servers are the if all else fails, then these should do the trick. For example, you'll get P2P servers for torrenting, onion over VPN servers, as well as double VPN servers that will connect you to 2 servers for double the encryption. You can also get a dedicated IP server, but you're going to have to get this one as an add-on. Besides specialty servers, there's also MeshNet, which allows you to transfer your files securely over the encrypted network of Nord, and you also get to use this feature to play games on a LAN network with your friends. Other than that, you'll get an app kill switch, the ability to customize your DNS, as well as this big map that shows you Nord servers in real time. And so as far as features go, both these VPNs have all the essentials, as well as some neat bonuses, but if you want to get the most features out of your VPN, then Nord is the better option here. Okay, so last but not least, we have the ease of use and the UI. Both of these VPNs are easy to use, and with time you can get used to the extra options and settings that Nord offers. That being said, I have found ExpressVPN to be a lot more intuitive and easier to use. Just to give you an idea of how it feels to use Express, it sort of feels like using an Apple product. It's very responsive, launches instantly, and connects to a VPN server in 1 or 2 seconds. Simply put, it feels like part of your computer and not a third-party application. And there's this big button in the middle of the home screen that you can press to automatically connect to a server, and if you want to manually choose a server, all you got to do is click these 3 buttons here and type in the name of your server. It just feels very intuitive and straightforward. Nord, on the other hand, takes some time to launch, and there are some instances where I needed to wait about 15 or 20 seconds for it to establish a connection. This is not bad by all means, and most VPNs average at about this speed. It's just that Express is much faster and responsive, which puts it in a league of its own. Now, as far as UI goes, it's really up to personal preference. I like Express's more because it's very minimal and it's a small window, but my best friend likes Nord's more because it has a map, so it's really up to you at the end of the day. Alright, so with all that being said, which one do I recommend? Well, it really depends on what you're looking for in a VPN. I would say go for ExpressVPN if you want to have the highest level of security, or if you want to have the fastest, most responsive VPN out there. It feels very intuitive, and honestly, it's my go-to for pretty much everything. And in case you want the fastest VPN out there that has more features, more countries, and granular control over your settings, as well as an interactive map that shows you where all the VPN servers are, then I would say go for NordVPN. And in case you want to give them a shot before you commit to a subscription, both of these VPNs have free trials that you can get by downloading their mobile apps, as well as a 30-day money-back guarantee that you can claim by contacting their 24/7 live chat support. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to use the links in the description to grab yourself the best discounts possible, and check out the full reviews as well if you want to know more about these VPNs. Besides that, like and subscribe to see more of these videos, and let me know down in the comments if there's anything cybersecurity you'd like me to cover. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.